everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing and coming back to watch this video. So today I just have a pretty quick video. I'm just going to go over the August scent of the month with you. I'm a little behind on doing this, but you know, instead of doing a first sniffs with you, I just went ahead and warmed it. So I've got that, and I also wanted to go over the Grazing Grasslands Collection with you. I'm just going to combine them both in this video because they're both kind of small things to talk about, and I just thought it made sense to kind of talk about them together because they both, not that they're exactly the same, but they have similar qualities to them, the fragrances. So I did warm the bar from the Grazing Grasslands Collection, so I'll go over that with you after I go over the scent of the month. If you're not aware, Scentsy offers a scent of the month and a warmer of the month for each month, and for August, their scent of the month is called Huddle Up, and it does look like this. So it is this really pretty green bar, and the warmer of the month is called First Down, and I will put some pictures up here for you so that you can see what that looks like. Now, I normally subscribe to either scent of the month or both scent of the month and warmer of the month every month. I usually always subscribe to at least scent of the month, but I just really wasn't interested in this warmer, so I didn't subscribe this month to get this warmer. I think it is absolutely adorable, and I think that it is very, very detailed. I think it would make a great gift for guys or anyone that loves football, but here in this house, we just really aren't football crazed. My husband really isn't into football that much, so it's just not a warmer that I needed, so that's why I didn't get it. Now, I usually always get the scent of the month because it comes with several bars, and then that way I can make samples for my customers. So they used to give us a pack of 50 brochures with the scent of the month, and then that way we could attach the wax samples to the brochures and we could mail them or give them to our customers that way. But unfortunately, they took away the actual paper brochures that they included in the kits. So I'm really sad to see that go because I really loved getting that. I really loved attaching my samples to that. But since they took the brochures away, they are giving us an extra bar in the kit. So instead of getting 7 wax bars, now we get 8. So I do have 8 of them here. And you also get 72 of the scratch and sniff stickers. So you get those as well. I mean, it kind of would have made more sense to still have the brochure so you could put the sticker on that. But I do plan on, you know, still putting some of these on any type of flyers that I'm putting in Happy Mail or anything like that. I'll still attach a sticker somewhere or print out the PDF version of the flyer that they have on the workstation. I'll just have to print that out myself. I just really am going to miss the actual paper copies that they put in the kits for us because they just looked, the quality just looks so much better. The kit also includes a pod in the same fragrance. So I have that here as well. Now I have not smelled the pod, so we will smell that together and see if it smells different from the wax bar. While we're still talking about the warmer is called a First Down. It is 4.5 inches tall. It's an element warmer and it's ceramic. And the regular price for it is $50, but if you purchase it in August, you will be able to get it 10% off, so you'll be able to get it for $45. If for some reason it doesn't sell out and you know it's still available after August, it will go back to the regular price of $50. Now the bar and the pod, the room spray, and the 3-pack of scent circles, if you're interested in this scent in any of those products, you can also get 10% off of those. So for example, the bar here in US, this is the US pricing, it would be a $5.40. So the description of Huddle Up says, bold black pepper crackles in a gathering of earthy vetiver and smooth suede. And they did put it in the woods category. And I will try to put a picture here of the picture that they normally give us in the brochure that I normally show you guys. So the top note says black pepper, the mid note says vetiver, and the base note says suede. So there's that. Okay, and this is the bar that I used. Looks like that. And I only did 2 cubes out here in the open concept, and that's because I wasn't too sure about this one. It does smell good, okay? I have to say, I do like the smell of it initially here. I mean, there's kind of like a grassy element to it that I don't really like. I don't really like grassy green type scents. And so that's the only thing that was kind of really holding me back from loving this one, because it is masculine. It kind of leans masculine, and I like masculine fragrances. But this one is also citrusy. It has a citrus type edge to it. And it has a muskiness, and it has like, I can't explain it. It's definitely very citrusy. There's like a sharpness here that I don't really like, but I like the masculine element to it. It kind of smells like a man with, you know, like a cologne, but not an overpowering cologne, just slightly there, but like he's in a grassy field, and maybe he's, you know, on a football field and like with the grass. And then there's like the citrus element that I feel like it's just a little too citrusy. I don't like that extra sharp note there. But I did the 2 cubes, okay? So I did the 2 cubes out here, and I wasn't too sure about it. So the longer that it was in the warmers, I do think it got like more of like a musky type fragrance that you could smell with it. And it doesn't really mention a musky type note with it. I don't really specifically smell black pepper. I don't really even smell a lot of suede with this one. There's like a slight suede there, but I mean, it's not very noticeable to me. But I feel like the longer it was in the warmers, the more of like a musky type note that I could smell, which I do like musky type scents. But even my husband made a comment. He came in here and smelled it, and he was like, "What is that warming?" And so I told him, and he said that it smelled like a musky man. That was his words, and that is kind of what it smelled like. But I do think that there is a grassy, citrusy element to it as well. And I think it smells more citrusy than it does masculine. But that's just my opinion. I think the greenness of it and the citrus type notes in there keeps me from really loving this one. I think if it would have been more of a masculine fragrance, I might would have added this one to my club. If it would have been less sharp and more masculine, I probably would have liked that better. But I do know that there's a lot of people out there who don't really like masculine fragrances. You don't want them to smell like cologne or anything like that. And I don't think this one does. I think it just leans that way, but it smells more of a citrusy green bar, in my opinion. And, you know, it does say it's in the woods category, but I don't know. It smells more citrus green to me. Okay, so let's smell the pod together. Okay, well, the pod smells green for sure. But again, like a green citrus with like a masculine note in the background. It's very, very similar to the wax. Sometimes the pods can smell different from the wax, but I think this is very similar. For sure. I also think it was pretty strong because, like I said, I only put the 2 cubes out here, and that's because I wasn't quite sure about that green note. I was kind of scared that, you know, I could smell the sharpness. I was scared it was going to be too much of a grassy note, and I really don't like grassy fragrances. But it really wasn't, and it filled the space. And like I said, even my husband noticed it, and he's not quite as sensitive to fragrances as I am. So I think it's a pretty strong fragrance because it filled this whole open concept with just 2 cubes. And it was definitely 24 hours. It didn't really go much past that, but I kind of took it out of the warmers at like 28 hours maybe, and I really didn't let it go any further. It was starting to get kind of light. But again, if you put this in a smaller space, you might would get better performance and better longevity than what I got out here in the open concept. And the pods, I mean, I don't think that they smell super, super strong in the pods, but there's still the same kind of like sharpness in these pods. And maybe that's why it kind of smells strong to me, because I've said before, sharper scents just appear to be stronger to me. It's nice. It's nice. I like it. It's not a bar that I want any more of. It's not a bar that I'm going to add to club by any means. Honestly, I'm probably going to give a couple of these bars away because there's no way I'll ever use this much of this fragrance. It's not a scent that I really want to warm out here because it's leans a little too green citrusy for me, but I do think it's nice. Okay, so I was also going to talk about the Grazing Grasslands collection. And you know, on this order, I ordered some cotton cleanups, needed some more of those. So I threw that on this order. And then I grabbed the Buddy. This is Haddie, the Highland cow. And I have Hamish, so I just felt like I needed this. I probably really don't, but I just love Hamish so much, and I just really wanted Haddie. So this is what the box looks like. Absolutely adorable. Now, she has been squished in this box. I have not taken her out because I wanted to open her on video, so her hair is really crazy. Really, really crazy at the moment, but she's snuggly and fluffy and so cute. Her little tail. She's adorable. I love her. So I just love the little Scentsy buddies. I don't get as many as I used to, honestly. I try to hold myself back from getting them, but there's just something about these little Highland cows. I think they are so cute. So I had to have her. She was $35. She came with the Grazing Grasslands scent pack. So I wasn't able to choose her scent pack, and I really didn't like that. I wish that Scentsy, I know that she was part of like a collection, the Grazing Grasslands Collection, but I wish that Scentsy would have just let us choose which scent pack came with her, because this fragrance didn't sound like something I would be interested in. I went ahead and got the bar so I could review it here for you guys, but this is not a scent that I normally would have bought just going off the description, and I would have picked a different scent pack for her. So there she is again. She's really, really cute. If you're unaware of what our little buddies are, they just have like a pocket in the back that you unzip and you put the scent pack that is scented in the little zippered pouch back there, and then she'll smell like whatever fragrance you chose. So I'm going to have to do some fixing with her hair because it's absolutely crazy, but she's cute. Really, really cute. So the Grazing Grasslands fragrance says it smells like a Highland meadow blanketed in wildflowers and lush greens with the subtle sweetness of green melon. So the description mentions a meadow, it mentions wildflowers, it mentions lush greens, and it mentions a sweetness of green melon. All things that all kind of sound green and just not something that I would really be interested in, but I went ahead and got the bar. So that's what it looks like. And it's definitely this green color. Now, I only used 1 cube because, like I said, it didn't sound like something I'd like. So I put this in the really small bathroom back here and I shut the door. And when I smelled this on cold, I was kind of hopeful for it because there is almost an apple note. I really thought I was smelling apple here. Like a really green, crisp apple in the background. And then I could also smell a little bit of melon. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this is going to be more fruity than it is grassy. Even though I could smell like a little bit of grassiness, and I could also smell something floral. But I liked it a lot more than I thought I would on cold. And so I put it back there in the small bathroom and I shut the door. And within an hour or two, I noticed that the smell was coming into the kitchen. Okay, so back there in that small bathroom, I have a door that shuts. And then a little bit away from the bathroom, I have like swinging doors that shut to go into the laundry room because the bathroom is off of the laundry room. So the door was shut, and then the swinging doors to go into the laundry room was shut. And I was outside of the swinging doors here in the kitchen, and I could smell that fragrance. So it was coming through both sets of those doors with just 1 cube of wax. It was very strong, in my opinion. It wasn't so much that it was strong. It was just that it's one of those fragrances that really travel, in my opinion. Now, I wasn't really going much further than that, but the fact that it went through kind of both of those doors is surprising. Very, very surprising. And it was okay. It was okay, but it's just not a fragrance for me. It's a little bit too floral. There's more of like a floralness that came out. There's definitely like a greenness that came out. So it has like this wet, fresh grass type of smell, kind of like if you had a grass stain on some of your clothes or something like that. It was like a fresh grass stain and you could smell it. That's like what it reminded me of, mixed with like a floral note, mixed with something fruity. And as it warmed, it really didn't smell like apples anymore. I could smell more of like the melon, but here for some reason, I just, could smell what I thought was apple, but that really went away on warm. But, it wasn't quite as grassy as I thought it was going to be. It was actually way more floral than I thought it was going to be. This was just too floral for me, too grassy for me. And it's not a scent that I will probably warm any more of. I will probably give this to somebody that, likes it and thinks that they'll be interested in this. And honestly, I'm not going to use this scent pack either with the buddy. I'm just going to put something else in her, and I'll give this away to whoever wants this because it's not a fragrance for me. I do think it's pretty. I think that if you like grassy scents, if you like floral scents, this is right up your alley, and you should definitely give this a try. Because, and if you like melon and you also like those things, because that's there as well. It's not an overly sweet bar, and it does say with the subtle sweetness of green melon, there's just a slight sweetness here. I think if it didn't have the grassy note, I could do this a lot more because the floral isn't an aggressive floral. It's not really a sharp type floral. I think I could do it if it just wasn't for the grassy note. I really don't like that. But I mean, it is called Grazing Grasslands. So I assumed that it would smell like that. I really did. So there's that. So the other thing that was in this collection was the Highland Trails warmer. It was like $40. I'll put a picture of it here. It was so adorable. I did like it, but I just don't need another warmer. And it was an element warmer. It didn't light up. And I do usually prefer warmers that light up. So I didn't get it, but I think it is cute. And I am happy for everyone who was able to grab one. If for some reason it's back available or something like that, I'll put that on the screen. But the last time I checked, that did say that it was sold out. So that was it for this video. I hope that was helpful. I know that those items have been available for a while, and I'm kind of behind on these videos. I just wanted to, get this video up so that you could see that and hear my reviews on it. So if you've been able to try either one of these fragrances, if you have tried the August scent of the month Huddle Up, or if you've tried the Grazing Grasslands fragrance, I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are about those. And I really do appreciate you guys watching today. I hope all of you have an absolutely lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.